In this video, we're going to go all the way with the Divi Theme Builder and Divi 4.0. So we're here in the back end. I want to show you real quick, we're running Divi 5.2.4. We'll go under themes and show you we're running the latest version of Divi, 5.2.4 on WordPress, and we're running 4.0.5. It's the current release with Divi. Everything is up to date, nothing old. And we'll jump into the front end just to kind of show you a few of the things that we've got. So basic logo installed here. This is the regular Divi header, regular Divi footer. We've created a custom, a few little space holder templates, but this is basic Divi out of the box. And what we're going to do today is really take you through doing a header, a footer, some page templates, and a handful of things. So this is a regular blog page, just extremely basic. Before we get going, just because I'm going to go change the permalinks. For some reason, that blog page keeps showing up as these weird numbers. We'll go under pages and actually just quick edit this, change it to blog for the permalink. It was just kind of weirding me out a little bit. And before we get going, I wanted to make sure that that was right. So we've got a blog page, we've got our home page. These, the about and the contact page, are just very generic pages, and those were there really just as placeholders. And you can see here with a custom link. I'm actually going to remove those pages, and that's very intentional. We're going to remove those, and we're going to start fresh, right? So we're going to go here under Divi, down to the theme builder. And this is where we're going to kick things off. We're going to create our global header and our global footer that are going to sandwich in between all these pages. So we're going to build a global header. We're going to start from scratch, and we're just going to kind of see where this thing goes. So take the journey with us. This may be a longer video than normal, but we're doing it for you. We're going to show you the whole process. We're not going to speed anything up. We're not going to cut any corners. We're not going to edit this out. It's going to be raw. So we're going to take it from here and see what we do. So we're going into the global header here, and the first thing I want to do is create the menu itself. So we're going to go with a full row. We're going to type in menu here, and we're going to do the main menu. The logo is going to be here, and we can do site logo. That way it shows up as well, and that's pretty easy. We'll go here and we'll change the color of the background. I actually want to go with almost black. And that's a little bit lighter than I'd like to go, so maybe down to about here, which kind of works out just perfect. We're going to change the background. I don't want to have a background here on the menu, and then we'll go to menu text, and we'll lighten that up a little bit. We will also go layout, left aligned is fine. Active link, regular menu text. And this is where we're going to really start doing the edits, right? So I can take the logo, we can do different things with it. You know, we can do shadows, we can do just a few different things here, which we're going to leave. We're just going to leave them normal for now. And we'll take the menu text and the active color. You know, we're going to do the regular menu font here. And let's say we want to go with a little bit bigger. Do we want to go to a bold? Let's leave it at semi-bold. And the font, Rubik is a little bold. Maybe we go, light actually works. And let's letter space it just a little bit, and we'll up the font size just a bit. That's a bit much. So with that, I'm not a fan of the font. Maybe we take it back to Lotto. That works. Do we want to do uppercase? Nah. So we're going to take this menu color. I'm actually going to decrease the opacity down to 0.6, and then make sure that the active color is full on 100% opaque. So can see now we've got a lot of space, right? This would be a really funky looking menu, it'd be big. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change these margins and shrink that up just a bit. So now this goes all the way to the top. So we can shrink this in just a little bit more by going to the padding of this particular menu. So now looking a little bit better, right? What I would like to do though is take the actual size of this entire thing and make it 100%. So we're gonna go all the way wide, 100% of this window. So it's gonna push everything all the way to the edge. I'm gonna equalize column heights, and then I'm gonna go under this individual column. And we're going to actually change the spacing or the padding here, and we'll adjust it by device. So left and right, I'm gonna say 10%, so it's gonna shift things in just a bit. And we're gonna go down to the tablet, and that actually looks pretty good, but I think I'm gonna shift it out a bit, and then down the phone, maybe we'll go a little bit wider. And that kind of works. Now what I want to do here as well is go back into the menu, and we're going to look at the icons, right? So if we shift the site down back into where we have the hamburger, we've got this hamburger icon, and we can make this white. And we can even change it so that on red it would hover. So on hover, it could go red. And let's push this down to tablet size. Maybe that doesn't work quite as I had thought that it would, which is okay. Take the hover off. The hamburger color can be the same. So if we shrink this back down, you're gonna see that it's white, and we'll pull the menu up. We do the drop down menu. So we've got the line color. We can make that transparent, and that means we'll no longer have that line color. The background, we can go black if we want, and then the text could be whatever color we need it to be. The active link, we can go black. Mobile menu background, see, that can change it completely, right? Drop down menu background color. This would actually be for the non-mobile version. So if we were in full and we had a drop menu here, that would work. We are going to change this to white. Menu text color is going to be white, but we are going to drop that back down to 0.6 like we had on the main menu. Let's see if we have any padding options for this, which it doesn't look like we do, and that's okay. Menu settings, I think we're good, right? So now, kind of have a little bit in play. We'll hit save. And I think what we could do is add in another little column here, right? So we can add this side, and we'll go down here and we'll do social media icons. So now we've got our two, and we can play with this. So instead of the little one, we can give them a little more space. I think that works out pretty well. We can go under our second column settings, add a little bit of spacing. Go to 20, see what it looks like on tablet, which I don't want to push any additional space, so we'll do that. Then we'll go back into the module itself. So we can set alignment by device. So I'm fine with it. I'd like it all the way to the right on desktop. On tablet, kind of like it in the center, and mobile as well. So in that one, we can go ahead and start looking at some of these icons. So we've got the white icon color, which I do want to leave, but we can adjust the size of these as well, right? So if we want to do this, then we can go back and let's say I want to take off the backgrounds for each one of the networks. That takes them to right there, and then we can go back to icon, and we adjusted the size, right? So here we can change it by device. So we can go smaller over on the desktop, and then we can change it if we wanted to do it a little bit bigger here on mobile, because you want people to be able to press that on mobile and not hit one when they meant to hit the other. Just about usability. All right, so we're going to look at spacing, and we'll make sure that there's no space above or below. And then we'll do the same thing with the column that it is. So spacing, we want to shrink this down on tablet, make sure that there's absolutely nothing here, which looks like we're there. That's perfect. So this is something extremely simple. I mean, it's a very, very basic header, but you'll notice once we save this, this is going to save. We're going to exit here. We'll hit Save Changes, and where we had the regular Divi menu before, we're going to have this custom menu now. So this loads. We've got that. We've got these social icons over there on the side. So then we can add a footer as well. Go in and add the footer. And if you've been through some of our demos or some of the videos here on YouTube, you've seen a lot of this part before, because we did a specific footer and header video. The footer we're going to do, let's go with something similar to what we've done in the past. We're just going to do a little 3-column deal, and it's going to be, let's use equal 3 columns. So we'll do an image, and the image can actually be the site logo. Get out of here. We'll change the background as well, and we'll go up just a little bit. We'll save that. Our image is here, and then we've got text. Let's go ahead and do Explore, which you guys are familiar with. We've done this one in the past. We'll do it a little H3. We'll go under here and change H3 to be a little bit brighter. So we'll double that and make this the other header, and we'll change this to social. And then we'll add another text module here, and Explore, we'll call this blog, and this will be for the link. We'll change the sizing a little bit to where there's no gaps above or below. We want to make things pretty tight when it comes to those links. And this one, we would just adjust what the spacing looks like, and actually it would be the margin below that. And we can adjust that out just a little bit to 5. And then we'll go back into this text module, and we'll just add a link. So this link, we'll just call it, go to blog, text to display will be blog, and we'll call it a day. Right? We'll go under text, and we'll change this to adjust the link color. So instead of being white, we'll shrink this down just a little bit to 0.6. And its hover state would be completely white, so before and after. This way, if we decided to add in more, we can just duplicate and then edit. So we'll leave the second one as blog. We'll change the first one to actually be home. So it'll be home. So those are perfect. And then we can take this same one, and we can add spacing. We'll copy the spacing there. We'll paste the spacing here, and then we can duplicate this item and just drop it here, and it'll be in the same spot. So at this point, we can change this, and we can make it Facebook. Perfect. And we could duplicate it, make the adjustments here, go back into the link, leave that the same, and make this one Twitter. So now we've got our 2 social networks here. That works out just fine. I'm going to actually shrink in some of the spacing just to make it a little bit tighter, and we'll say 10 pixels top and bottom, which will shrink that footer in just a bit. And what we'll do from here is add in one more row, text, and we'll put our tagline for the site. And powered, or however you tag your sites, by Keegan Lanier Media. Highlight that, create the link, and that would be it. We will go here to text, back into the link, and we'll change the link to be white again. We'll drop it down to 0.6 for the regular, and we'll go hover all the way, so before and after. This one I would center. So what we would do is go right down here, and we can change it by device if we wanted. We'll do in the center on the desktop, and we can play with all of this. Like, this does not have to look that way. We can do a few different things, but just to keep things very simple and straightforward, this will be our footer for now. So this is done. Now we've got a global header and a global footer, right? So let's go to the front end on our site. We'll refresh the page. We've got our header, we've got our footer. Everything kind of works the way we need it to work. And then if we go to this blog page, we've got a general blog page that doesn't look very great. It's the basic one that comes with Divi. What we're going to do is we're going to actually go under pages, and we're going to build a brand new blog page site or blog page layout. So we're going to edit with Divi. And since this page is actually set to be just default blog, we can actually do it in the theme builder. So we're going to add a new, and we're going to go down here to blog. So this would attach to the blog page. And when we create the template, it's going to automatically assign the header and the footer, and we'll click add custom body. So this will be for our blog page, kind of whatever we want. So it'll take the place of this page here. We can add in the sidebar if we want. In this case, I'm actually not going to put the sidebar in. What I'm going to do is just build from scratch, and it's going to be very, very basic. We're going to go all the way around. We're going to insert a blog module. And we are going to, since we're not using this option for the archives page, we're going to do posts. We're going to include all categories. We're going to include unlimited posts. And we'll continue to play with the elements here. But rather than being full width, first I want to go to design, layout, and change this over to grid. So put more of our blog posts on the page. Even though there's only 2 here, it's okay. It gives us an idea what we want. So currently there's nothing happens when we hover, just nothing dynamic. So the first thing I really want to do is add this overlay image so that when we hover over, something happens. I'm not and have never been a fan of the icons, so I make those transparent right off the bat. I go to black, and I really want to take it down to about a 0.6. That way, as we hover over, something happens. It lets us know that there's a micro interaction whenever we hover over this. It means if you click on it, something is going to happen. So I'm all about that. And that just is something that I think looks better. It's better for the user experience. And we've got some options here. You know, if we wanted to make the rounded edges on the image, we could do that. We can unlink it and make it to where this stuff is 0, where there's no rounding on the bottoms, but they're still rounded on the top. And then we can take down to the border and say unlink this, and we want this to be 5 and this to be 5, where the bottom actually curves as well, but it goes right to the image. Personally, I'm going to actually take the border completely off. I think that looks quite a bit better. I don't like the borders very much. If so, I like them very, very faint. So I would take, if I were going to do it, I would take them down pretty far to where they're barely visible, make them like that. And that actually does not look bad. I would go that route. And then what you want to do is really start styling the text. So title text. Typically it's going to be a heavier font. It's something that's going to stand out. Now we could take it and go really like kind of an old school route with it. Rather than doing semi-bold, we could stick with regular, but make it a serif font, and we could go larger. We could take this thing up to a 28. And the thing I like to do as I'm developing sites is to go and set these automatically. You can build a site for desktop, but always make sure that as you're going through the process, you're building it on mobile as well. So you're sizing based on the different screen sizes. That is critical, especially today's day and age where so many people are viewing websites on mobile. So we've got the title text. That part looks good. Meta is not the most crucial thing in the world, so I tend to make it not stand out as much. So I'll hide it just a bit. And then your regular excerpt actually stands out by hiding the meta text just a bit. And we can go back into the elements and decide whether or not we want to show pagination, which for a blog grid, I absolutely would. And then you can also do the read more button or text. And from there, you can go down here and style read more as well. So if I wanted it to, let's say, be very black, I could do that. I can make it ultra bold, which looks super sleek, and we can change the line height on it. So if I wanted to push it down just a bit, we could go that route. I can change the letter spacing where it stands out more, which I'm not the biggest fan of that. In some cases, it looks great. I could make it all caps if I wanted to do that as well, and drop a little underline over it. And that works out pretty well. However you want to do that, you can do it. So we can change actually the font by device as well, which I think is pretty cool. But we're going to leave it just like this, and we're going to call this a day. We're going to save this page. And as soon as we exit from designing this blog page, you'll see we'll be able to save here. And what was this before, now that this is saved, when we refresh the page, it's going to look a little different. So now we've got the blog page here that we've designed. This is what it looks like. So we can also go back in here under custom body, and we can create a page header, or just some sort of a header signifying which actual page we're going to be on. And we can add that right above the grid. So I'd say we'll add another section. We'll go regular, and we'll do a full width section. And I'm just going to do text. And that text is actually going to be dynamic text, and it's going to be the page. So post archive title. That would give you the page title, and we can do this to make this heading 1. That in itself sort of makes things stand out a little bit more. We can go and make this significantly bigger. We can make it bold if we want. And I'm just playing around with things right now. You'll get this style font, and we can take it, we can center it, and we can move this back up to the top. So now we're looking at this page. We've got things in the center, and we can kind of do whatever we want to do with it. If we wanted to add a border just at the bottom, we could do just like this. We could call it a day. I can make this very faint, again, just to match the border of the other pages. Make it very, very simple. When we save this, you'll see this will be saved. We're saving the layouts, and we can go ahead and refresh this blog page, and you're going to see now we've got the page title here. And that's a lot of space here. We can go and change some of the padding, and we can just really get pretty creative with it, however we want to do it. If we want it to be thin like that and real small, we can do it. And that way it'll have just the page title up top. Save it, refresh it, and you're going to see that shrinks down a little bit. I think it works. I think it works very well. It's simple, and this is not about looking over the top, flashy, and great. We're just walking through the process of how you actually build a site in a theme builder. Right, so we've got that saved. We'll close it. Now we've got the actual blog grid. And we want to add another one. And we're going to go to all posts. And we're going to build exactly what all the posts themselves look like. So all blog posts. And we'll build from scratch again. And this one is going to be quite simple. We're going to create a row, and we're going to add a text module, and we're going to again go to post archive title and do exactly what we did before. H1, kill the H1 tags, that closes them, and we'll go under H1. We'll make this thing bold, drag the size up, and then we'll align it center. The last thing we'll have to do, just to make it similar to what it was before, is adjust the padding. And I think let's see, yeah. So that does that piece here. I'll have to do the exact same thing on the sections. And the border at the bottom, one width, and we'll take the opacity down. Keeps things very simple. This will be our post title, and we'll create a brand new section, and we're going to go single, and we're going to look for this right here. This is the key for your post. It's post content. What this does is put all of your post content into this one section. So whatever you create in Gutenberg in the backend editor will populate right here in this module that you put. So we can do that, and then we could come down here, create another row if we needed, and say we want to do comments. We can do a comment section, no problem. And we could even come in here and do post navigation if we wanted. So we can add another row and do post nav. It'll put previous, next, so we can do that, previous, next, or if you leave it blank, it actually puts the name of the previous post right in its place. So if we go to link text, we can change this to black. We can even drop it down a little, give it some opacity, give it the hover option, go full on. So before, hover, do it just like that, and then we're good. So this becomes a very basic post layout, and we'll show you what it looks like on the front end. So, you know, you've seen this, you remember what they looked like before. There were nothing special, right? I think if I haven't saved that layout yet. So if we go under here, you see just the regular post page, right? So back in the theme builder, we've saved the layout, but we haven't saved this one. So when we hit save here, it's going to save this post page. We'll come back into the individual posts, and let's take you through the whole process. So we created the blog page, and then we just created the layout for each individual post. So when we open a post, now we've got this layout. So it's this, the text we had before, this post navigation. We can go back to the other one. We've got the comments. We're good to go, right? So now we've got the post page, we've got the grid page, and there's a couple other things that I really want to adjust, and that actually would be here in the, I believe it's in the header. We'll have to play around just a bit. Let's go under the global header and see if there's an element option to actually show the search icon in that menu. So here where the menu is going to show up, we'll get the option. And if it's loading and it's taking a little bit long for you, you can always go to into this wireframe view, open your options here, and we'll go to elements, and there's the shopping cart and the search icon. So we're going to add the search icon, which is going to put it here. And we could adjust the color. You saw in those options earlier where that is. And then we're going to go back into our front end. you're going to see that we add this option and we can search, and let's say we just search for Divi. Very little is going to show up, right? So I've worked on a few other little layouts here. This is kind of what the default search page looks like, and right above this there would be any featured images if they were attached. They are not currently attached, so you're not seeing them, but this is not a very attractive page. I would like for it to look very similar to this, so what we would do is go back into this and create a new template, right? We'll go archive, all author, categories, date, projects, pretty much everything that we have here as far as archive pages or search results or any of those things, right? This is kind of what we want to create. We're going to lump them all together, and then we're going to add a custom body. And I want to actually use the blog grid as the layout, because I know the blog grid puts them gridded out. It's got the featured images, it's got the read more where you can go into the article. It's got everything that I would want, plus we already have the header there. So this is pulling in the dynamic content based on some criteria, and we'll show you how to set it up depending on the category. So we can go under here under the wireframe, and this blog, and this is really the key to it, is posts for current page. And what that means is it displays posts for the current page. It's useful on archive or index pages. So we're going to say yes. We can set the number of posts per page. So if we go to 25, it'll help with load times, all of those things. We'll hit save. And now we've got this page over here that's the search results for Divi, right? We've got the layout saving. We'll close the layout, and then we'll save this to where this category page becomes part of our theme. So when we come back in here and we go to search results, now things look like they did before. But remember, these did not have featured images on them yet. That's why you don't see the image up top. If we were to go, let's say, to this course landing page, and we edited the page, if we added in a featured image and then went back and searched for Divi, we'll show you here. So let's just add this picture of a boat. We'll update this, and then we'll go back into the front end of the page and redo what we just did. So we'll search, we search for Divi, we press enter. Now you've got the same results, but down here on the course landing page that we had earlier, this is the featured image. So they didn't show up on the other ones because they weren't set, but the minute you set them, they will show up in your results. So that's a simple way, and it even gives you results for Divi. Keeps it simple, very, very easy. So we'll close out these other ones. Now we're in the theme builder again, and there's more options. We can build out even more. If you wanted different headers and footers on certain pages, you could do that. If you wanted to have a theme layout only for certain posts, you could do that. If you need a 404 page that's custom, you can do that. If you want specific projects to have their own layout, you know, maybe you have a web design company, or you have a project that's, some of them are active and some of them are past. You can make the layouts look different depending on if it's active or if it's not. So there's a ton of options, so many things that you can do to make your website stand out. But really what we've built here is the foundation of a great site. You've got the blog layout, the grid, you've got a post layout for the actual content themselves, and then you've got archive and search results with a global header and footer. So we took our site from very, very basic, and what we created was something that was very much what we needed. We created a layout that just kind of works, and it's dynamic. So if you have all your posts that are created inside of this layout, if you need to change things, like, it's very simple to come in here and add it. But if you want to change the layout of what your posts look like, you don't have to go through each individual post anymore. Those days are over. You go under here, you change this for all posts, go in, edit the custom body. Let's say you didn't want the previous and the next post link navigation in there anymore. You come into this template, you scroll down. Right here was the thing that included the post navigation. We'll show you here. This was post navigation. We just delete that row. We delete that row, post navigation's gone. We hit save. Shh, got my buddy here. You hit post navigation, delete that, save this, and then we jump back into the front end of the site and we go into one of these individual posts, and you're going to see post navigation's gone, and it's gone for all of them. So this is the Welcome to Keegan Linear Media. If you go to Hello World, you'll also notice post navigation's gone. So this allows you to scale and make adjustments to your site, but you have to think in templates. You got to think in building blocks with the content as being dynamic. So you're building a spot for this set of content, not for that individual post, and making them all individual. So this powered with some of the new things that Gutenberg's doing. I think this marries Divi and Gutenberg unbelievably well. It makes them perfect partners and allows you to build a dynamic site that literally lives and breathes. And if you want to make updates for it, it's so easy to do. And this is at a point where, all the conversations, if you've been around the Divi community or any theme builder community for a long time, you know that people say, once you start this theme, you better be married to it for life, for as long as your website exists. That isn't really the case anymore, at least not with Divi. The way I'm going to build websites and the way our agency builds websites is that we're going to build a framework, and then you're going to be able to go in and drop your content into the block of the core post editor, and then that will fit into the design. So that's going to make designs look better and more consistent and not change as much. But it's also going to make things simpler for the client on the back end. They won't have to sift through and learn all these different parts of the website that truthfully they don't need to worry about and can easily be bogged down in to keep them away from running their business. So we're going to make things streamlined, very simple, and this is a perfect example of how you can do it as an agency to make it very simple for your clients. So I'm interested to know your feedback, what your thoughts are on the Divi Builder, Divi 4.0 in general. Let us know in the comments below. If you're on Twitter and you'd rather have a conversation there, find us at Keegan L Media, say hi, let's talk, and let's really have a conversation around this and how it's going to impact you either as a business running an individual site and how we can help you, or my buddy, man, my cat is meowing like crazy. So how we can help you as an individual business to save time and get your content up so that you can drive people and make conversions, or if you're a web designer and you're doing website client work using Divi, how the Divi Builder can help you scale, and we can work workflows to get you to the next level. So we appreciate you as always. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for being here on the YouTube channel. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. If you want to get new notifications each week when we drop videos, hit the bell, and just hit us up in the comments below. Let us know your thoughts. We'll see you in the next video. We hope you have an awesome week.